Boots hit the dirt, no rest for the real. Still spine straight, I'm a soldier, no chill. Snakes in the grass, they creep and conceal. 20/30 vision, better sharpen your steel. We won't stop, I won't quit. Stand for the truth, no counterfeit. Real ones rise, let the fake ones split. Prepare for the lies, let the darkness live. Echoes in the swamp, whispers in the wind. Legacy to build, can't let the devil win. Cash rules the weak, but my soul don't bend. 20/30 knocking, better cleanse that sin. They want us to sleep, but the light stays on. Fake smiles, fake friends, all of them gone. Cages of comfort, we breaking out strong. Roots in the south, but the fight's lifelong. We won't stop, I won't quit. Stand for the truth, no counterfeit. Real ones rise, let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies, let the darkness live. Prepare for the storm, skies turning gray. The wolves in the suit got dues to pay. From the ashes we climb, no time to delay. The real ones prepare for the judgment day. Yeah.
To pause immigration raids at farms, hotels, and restaurants after the president said he was willing to exempt the industries from his nationwide immigration crackdown. According to the Washington Post, ICE officials told agents they must continue the sweeps after hearing from DHS leadership that the White House does not support an exemption policy. An assistant secretary for DHS said yesterday, quote, worksite enforcement remains a cornerstone of its immigration crackdown efforts, and there are no, quote, safe spaces for industries. The paper also reports White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, an architect of Trump's immigration policy, privately opposed carving out exemptions for certain industries that rely heavily on workers without legal status, according to two people with knowledge of his advocacy in recent days.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning, man. I am your host, Wise, man. I hope all is well with you guys. If you can hear me, okay, put a 1 in the chat for me just to let me know that you can hear me. But I do appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I hope all is well. God bless each and every one of you guys. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. The weeks are flying by, and I'm sorry for bumping the microphone. My apologies. Good Lord, Sean. Come on now, get it together. Shout out to Lori Ottison. We're not going to do a whole lot of shout outs this morning, but I do want to make sure that I show some love to some folks in the chat. Shout out to Lori Ottison. Appreciate you pulling up. She says, good morning, ARP family and Wise. Can you believe it's hump day already? Remember to hit that like button on the way in. Absolutely. Y'all make sure y'all follow the instructions of Miss Lori Ottison. Y'all make sure y'all follow her instructions and hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Shout out to my guy, Soul Driver, JJ O'Hara. What's going on, Marla? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. God bless America, 856. Kevin Caldwell, Donald Lovejoy. What's up, Quincy James? How you doing this morning, brother? Hope all is well with you. What's up, Michelle? How you doing? I would assume that Michelle is over there with Van, but I do appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much for pulling up and showing us some love this morning. Shout out to PK Curly. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Zephyr K9? What's going on, B? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up as always. What's going on, Mark Galvin out of Nashville, Tennessee? Gail Witt. Appreciate you pulling up as well. Cornelia Holloway. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Who else we got up in here? Tyler Martin, what's going on with you, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Rocky Trump? Appreciate you pulling up as well. Man, shout out to you guys. Appreciate you all pulling up, man. Insanity's darling. Appreciate you pulling up as well. Thank you very much for pulling up, man. I do appreciate you guys pulling up. I really, really do. Hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. We got a good show today. We got a couple of stories to cover. And we got a fairly feel-good story to cover at the end of the show today. I didn't pull a goal out. We're not going to do any call-ins or anything like that today. I don't have any plans for that today. I got a busy day. I got some things that I need to knock out today. I'll be sitting here at my desk, but I do got some things to knock out this morning and this afternoon. So no call-ins, and we won't be having a 3-hour stream today. And my apologies for those who love those 3-hour streams, but that definitely will not be the case today. But let's see who else we got up in here before we get started. Delinda House, appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Steve Edmister, man? Appreciate you pulling up. Buffalo in the building. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for pulling up this morning. Melissa, how you doing this morning? Honolulu in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Said she'll be going to bed after the live is done. Okay, we won't be too long. That way you will make sure you get your beauty rest. We'll make sure that. What's going on, Kiwan Lynette? How you doing this morning, sister? I hope all is well with you. Hope all is well down there in the A. What's up, Larry Montgomery? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Yeah, it's raining out here as well. I mean, it's been raining all week. I mean, the month of June, to be honest with you, it feels like it's spring out here. We didn't really get a lot of rain in May nor April, but this month it seems like it's almost rained every day. Shout out to Chad Winstead, Big Pun. Appreciate you pulling up. What up with you, brother? Toy Mafia in the building. Amber Young in the house. Shout out to you. What up, RJ Hudson, South Carolina in the house. Shout out to you. What's up, Buddha? West End Lake, New York in the building. YDD, Maine. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, brother. What up, Eric Plummer? How's it going this morning? Appreciate you supporting the channel via Cash App as well, Eric Plummer, man. Shout out to you, brother. I really, really appreciate that. Tyler Martin out of Vegas. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Hope all is well. Who else we got up in here? YouTube user out of Orlando. Shout out to you. Billy Jack, what's going on, my Florida brethren? Appreciate you pulling up. Who else we got up in here? Brian Gable, shout out to you. Hobo Rock Prospecting. What's up, Dion? How you doing this morning, sister? Missouri in the building. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for pulling up. And New York Rican Levette, appreciate you, or Levite, appreciate you pulling up this morning as well. Annie Love, thank you very much as well for pulling up. Appreciate you. We got a little over 100 people in the building. First thing first, make sure you hit that like button for me. What's up, Jeff Cruisin? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Shout out to Mark Skibby. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. American Girl. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for pulling up as well. And all right, perfect. You guys can all hear me. I'm glad to see that. Glad to see that. Yep. Happy hump day to you guys. What's up, Dr. Kyla? How you doing this morning, sister? Hope all is well with you. Rochelle Gorman, appreciate you pulling up as well. What up, Reza Mahmood? Peace and blessings to you, brother. Hope all is well with you up there in Milwaukee. Thank you very much for pulling up. And who else we got up in here? Stephen S. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Anointed Flowers. Shalom. Peace and blessings to you as well. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. What's up, Chester? How you doing this morning, brother? Massachusetts in the building. Billy W, shout out to you as well. C. Bergie, what's going on, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. Adrian Williams, appreciate you pulling up as well. Thank you very much. Florida in the house. Shout out to DD, appreciate you pulling up. Hope all is well with you. Hey, K-Shay, how you doing this morning? Amethyst Angel, how you doing this morning, sister? Peace and blessings to you as well. Appreciate you pulling up. Hope all is well with you guys, man. If you haven't done so already, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. And shout out to Sherlandy. I love chickens. I loves chickens. Chicken. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. You know, as always, you know, super chats will stop the show. Oh, Michelle, you still here? Okay. Appreciate you. I figured you'd be over there with Van this morning. But appreciate you rocking with us this morning. Appreciate you helping us out, in the chat there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that, man. So, hey, hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. My Blues, let's make sure that we stay on track and stay on top of that. I'm not sure exactly where we are, but we should definitely be well over 100 likes at this point. So make sure y'all do that. Michelle says she's doing both. Okay, multitasking. Okay, I can appreciate that. What up, Sensuba, ATL in the house? Appreciate you. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP family or gifts in the ARP family, that will stop the show as well. Man, hey, y'all make sure y'all are washing your hands. Make sure you are doing all the things that are necessary to stay healthy, because there is a summer bug going around. I don't want to wish it on anybody. I don't want to speak it into anybody's existence, but there is a summer bug going around. My youngest son, he in the house, he been sick for 2-3 days, holed up in his room. We told him, hey man, quarantine yourself because I don't want any parts of it. Make sure you wash your hands, use your hand sanitizer. We don't want you infecting the daggone railings, going up and down the daggone stairs. Hey, I talked to my mom. She had the sickness and she down there in Georgia. So there is definitely there's got to be a flu bug, a summer flu bug or something like that going around right now, man. So you guys, make sure y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Am I muted? Quincy, you can't hear me? Man, yeah, we got to go back through it again. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If I'm muted, let me know so I can fix that right now. Put a 1 in the chat for me if you guys can hear me. We gotta put that out there. Shout out to Valley Joe. The world needs more Jesus. Shout out to God. Yes, Lord. Let's go. Okay, Zephyr said I'm not muted. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Maybe it's just something on Quincy's end. Okay, he said I think he said I was muted or something on this line. So y'all seen the thumbnail, you seen the title. We got a pretty good show to get into. We got a lot to get into. What's up, Poppy? How you doing this morning? Hope all is well. But yeah. Hey, the sickness, there is a bug going around. So y'all make sure y'all do everything that you can to stay healthy, keep your hands washed, all that kind of good stuff, man. Get good rest. And definitely, stay prayed up, man. Because, without him, man, with him, we can fight any and everything. Shout out to Mark Herrera with the $2 super chat. Says, put God first in life. Absolutely. Especially with everything that's going on. I mean, it almost seems like the prophecies of the word is just showing itself more and more clear as the weeks progress, right? We're not going to go down that rabbit hole today, but maybe that's a conversation that we need to have in the very near future. Maybe it is. Shout out to my guy out of Poland. Hold up. Let me throw this out here. Too Fast, Too Furious. How you doing, man? Greetings from Poland. Shout out to Poland, man. Appreciate you pulling up this morning, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. And absolutely, man, let's make sure that we keep, our leaders in prayer, keep them lifted up in prayer, from the president down, all our service members, all our law enforcement officers out there. Let's make sure that we keep folks lifted up in prayer, man. This situation, man, that we got going on, it's unfortunate. It really is, but a lot of this stuff, man, actually all of it, it's all written. Those of you guys that get in the word, understand and know the word, it's written. Y'all know that everything that is happening is supposed to happen. It was already it was already prophesied. It was already forecasted, But let's get into it, man. So we gotta unpack, y'all seen the opening clip. So we gotta unpack this. We got to, because once again, the mainstream media is twisting the narrative and confusing the public about what's actually going on with Trump's immigration policy, specifically when it comes to mass deportations. Now, the story starts with President Trump commenting last week, suggesting that he might show a little flexibility when it comes to deporting illegal immigrants working on farms and in hotels. Now, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Shout out to Sher Landy joining the ARP family. Thank you very much for supporting the channel financially. Thank you very much for joining the ARP family. I really, really appreciate that. But I want to hear from you guys in the chat. I didn't put a poll up or anything along those lines, in here, but I want to hear from you guys. The thought of President Trump showing some flexibility when it comes to deporting illegal immigrants who work on farms and in hotels. What are your thoughts on that? Put a 1 in the chat if you're okay with it. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that, hey, we don't care about that. These people got to go. They came here illegally. Put a 3 in the chat if you think that Congress should get involved and create some form of visa, or go ahead and utilize the H-2A visa that allows for migrant farm workers and things of that nature to be able to stay here and work, to go work on the farms and work in some of these. Should Congress and the president or the administration, for that matter, come up with some form of work visa to allow some of these people to stay here and work, but be paid real wages that would give them the ability to compete, or give Americans the ability to compete with them, and force these folks to pay taxes, so forth and so on. Oh man, we got a lot of folks saying, get them up out of here. You got a good amount of folks saying, let them stay, get them a visa, put them on an H-2 visa, let them work and pay taxes. Yeah, okay. Now, when it came to that, Trump, he did suggest that he may show a little flexibility, right, when it comes to deporting these illegal immigrants. And he said more or less that we can't just yank all the workers. We can't just yank all the workers from agriculture and hospitality industries and send them packing. We can't do it, even if they're here illegally, because it would cripple those industries. He said farmers and hotel owners were worried about losing workers who've been there for years. And that, for a moment, seemed like a possible policy shift. I'm just saying. It sounded to me like a policy shift. I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about it. To an extent, I understand, but it's not what was campaigned on. It's not what he ran on. So I have some concerns there.
Your mind about targeting in California farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business?
Well, we're not targeting. In fact, if you look today, I put out a statement today about farmers. Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have, maybe not. And you know what's going to happen, and what is happening? They get rid of some of the people because, you go into a farm and you look, and people they've been there for 20, 25 years, and they've worked great, and the owner of the farm loves them and everything else, and then you're supposed to throw them out. And you know what happens? They end up hiring the people, the criminals that have come in, the murderers from prisons and everything else. So we're going to have an order on that pretty soon, I think. We can't do that to our farmers, and leisure too, hotels. We're going to have to use a lot of common sense on that.
Yeah. Some common sense need to be made. But Trump made these comments last week. Those comments were made last week. And I'm not going to lie, it split the MAGA coalition right down the middle. Well, let me take that back. Actually, a lot of the people a part of the MAGA movement were pretty upset. They were pretty upset behind that. I don't know if that was the first time you guys heard that, but a lot of folks that are part of the MAGA movement was pretty upset behind that particular statement. And their point, go after the farms, the hotels, the companies that hire these illegal immigrants over our own citizens in the first place. Because no small farm is hiring illegal workers. Those are usually, a one person, a family, or a small number of people, in that operation there. It's not the small farms, it's the big ones. Big agriculture that's hiring all these workers for cheap labor. So Trump seems to have reversed. He actually listened to the people, which is a wild concept. And the liberal media, especially MSDNC, they jumped on this like sharks in a feeding frenzy. They immediately declared that Trump had surrendered, chickened out or flipped, folded, you name it, whatever you want to call it. They mocked him, dragged him through the mud, and then threw around every insult, in the book. They practically held a celebration on air announcing that mass deportation policy was over, that Trump was backing off, that he had been bullied into mercy by big agriculture and big hospitality. But guess what? The joyride didn't last long, because now, just days later, the Department of Homeland Security, according to a new report in the Washington Post, has reversed course. They issued new guidance saying that ICE agents are not going to back off farms, hotels, or restaurants. The raids are back on. Immigration enforcement is full steam ahead. And the very same people who cheered Trump for folding are now freaking out because the crackdown that they claim was canceled is alive and well. So now they're trying to save face. I want you guys to check this video out, or we're going to finish up that first clip. But I want to read a couple super chats real fast. Give me 1 second here. Shout out to, I believe that's Riots joining the ARP family. Thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate you supporting me and supporting this channel financially. Thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. I really, really do. Shout out to Matt Green with the $5 super sticker. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you supporting the channel this morning. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. Let's see who else. I know I'm missing somebody. Give me a second. All right, Ray Lito, Matt Green. Okay, there we go. Amethyst Angel. Shout out to Amethyst Angel that says, with the $5 super chat, says, we should watch and wait. DJT is famous for tactical deflection. He's playing 4K HD chess. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But I also say, you don't poke the bear. And I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, I think I got everybody. Okay, cool. I'm caught up. Sorry about that. All right, so let me pull this up for you guys. We're going to finish watching this video from MSDNC.
So Mike, this is yet another divide in the MAGA coalition. You've got the Steve Bannon wing versus the billionaires, represented by Elon Musk. We've also seen this, of course, in the last story we did, which is the isolationists versus sort of the Reagan conservatives, people that come out of the traditional Republican wing on being for things like freedom. And then in this case, you have a lot of business owners, a lot of farmers, a lot of people in restaurants versus the Stephen Miller wing of the MAGA base. Just basically saying we can't do our jobs here. We can't provide Americans the food they need. We can't keep the restaurants open without immigrants. And we see that divide playing out time and time again. And you have the president going back and forth, trying to appease both bases in some of his own base, both wings of his own base. And in some cases, in these three issues, you can't split the baby.
Joe, there is a significant difference in the distance between the tough-talking policy in the West Wing, led by Mr. Miller, and actual life, the way real-life Americans live their lives. In people working in nursing homes who don't have the proper papers, people working in restaurants, people working in meat packing plants, people doing yard work for the wealthy or ordinary people in this country. The distance between actual life, the way life is lived and the way life needs to be lived in this country to keep it going, is really significant. And Jonathan, Martin, I don't know about you, but you keep hearing from people anecdotally the fact that they're shocked with ICE officers crashing through car windows to drag people out, and the difference between, working people, people who do jobs that Americans don't like to do, who are here without the
Right.
proper documentation. People are now starting, at least the people I speak to or bump into, are wondering about the toughness of this policy.
Yeah, it's one thing to have people lighting cars on fire in LA. It's a wholly different topic politically when you're talking about yanking folks from a Home Depot or from a home or from a business where they've been working for decades and decades in this country. And I think the politics of that Trump came to recognize last week. But guys, we're seeing in real time here how you try to run a railroad when the conductor really has no core, has no true north, right? So Trump catches flack last week from the ag industry and the hospitality industry and says, all right, we're going to stop cracking down on ag and hospitality, which of course humiliates Stephen Miller, totally undermines his personal project. But that's Trump. There is no conviction here. And then he now walks it back to full Stephen Millerism because he was embarrassed by the coverage and he didn't look like a tough guy. So that's what we're dealing with here, which is 2 turns of a policy in less than a week, entirely because Trump is responsive to whatever the last stimuli is, whether it was input from the hospitality and the ag industry, or whether it was then the coverage of his flip-flop, which embarrassed him and caused him to go back to the original policy. That's what we're dealing with here. But the folks paying a price for it, of course, are those who are relying upon labor that they cannot get Americans to do. And
All right. Shout out to Bold and Beautiful. Appreciate you joining the ARP family. God bless you, sister, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And shout out to Amethyst Angel joining the ARP family as well. Thank you very much for supporting the channel financially. I really, really appreciate that as well. So let's keep going. So let's be real here. Trump never officially changed the policy. He made an off-the-cuff comment, as he often does, in response to business leaders worried about losing their cheap labor. But that doesn't mean that the man flipped on principle. I mean, he's a businessman at heart. And when farmers and hotelers tell him they're struggling to find workers, he listens. Doesn't mean that he's going to throw away the entire enforcement system. So here's the real question. Why did the media mock him in the first place if they wanted this so-called mercy for illegal workers? Why would they do that? Why go out of their way to humiliate him for considering what they were begging for? It's almost like they wanted him to double down just so they could be mad about that too. And now that ICE is back to raiding farms, back to raiding hotels, they're scrambling, acting shocked that Trump didn't roll over and stay rolled, or criticizing him for, going like, hey, my mistake. I know you guys voted for mass deportations. So yeah, my bad. This right here is a classic example of the media's Trump derangement syndrome. They don't actually care about the policies. They don't. They do not care about the policies. They just want to take them down by any means necessary, at all costs. If Trump does something they like, they don't thank him for it. They mock him, so he won't do it again. And if he goes the other way, they act like it's the end of the world. I mean, it's all politics. I mean, no honesty, no consistency. Meanwhile, let's not ignore the real elephant in the room. And that's the dependency this country has developed on illegal labor. We can't ignore that. That seems like something that no one wants to talk about. No one wants to talk about that. We have companies out here in the United States that have a dependency on cheap labor. Now, some would say we've always had a dependency on cheap labor. You could go back 200-300 years. Some would say that the country was built off of cheap labor and it's never really gone away. Some would say that. Some would say it. We got a couple super chats I want to read real quick. Sorry about that. Shout out to my guy Jeff over at It's Not Your Fault, the It's Not Your Fault Al-Anon Recovery channel. Y'all make sure y'all go check my guy Jeff out, man. He's doing some good work over there. He's doing some good work. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you supporting the channel. And this is what he said. He said, laws were broken, thus the term illegal. Punishment is deportation. What's so complicated? Same policy Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Biden had. I want to make sure I didn't. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Shout out to you, Jeff, man. Appreciate you, brother. There's one more that I missed as well. All right. And shout out to Demon of Cybertron. He says they love modern day slavery. You got a point there. You got a point there. And make sure y'all hit that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Blues, give me a count of where we are right now with the likes, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me. We got 315 people in here, so we should definitely, we should have over 300 likes at this point. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Thank you very much. But, you know, it's really, really unfortunate how dependent our nation and a lot of our companies in this country, how they've developed this dependency on illegal labor. You've literally got businesses out here saying that they can't function without undocumented workers. I mean, we do have a plethora of people that are unemployed. We also have a plethora of people that are on the system doing nothing. How about we pull them off the system and allow them to go get jobs? Or how about we figure a way to supplement that? Maybe that position won't pay you enough, you know what I'm saying, to live, but you go to work and we will supplement the rest, right? It makes complete sense to me. I mean, we literally have record numbers of homeless people in America right now. We have unemployed men. We have people sitting on the sidelines. We have teenagers looking for opportunities. We have teenagers looking for opportunities. When I was growing up, and I'm sure you guys probably had the same experience. When I was growing up, I might have had, well, my first job, I worked at Kroger's. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with Kroger's, Kroger's a grocery store. Worked at Kroger's. That was my first job. Stocking shelves and, bagging groceries and pulling carts in. That was my first gig. Didn't pay a whole lot, but it was an opportunity to get your feet out there in the workforce. I worked as a server. I worked in telemarketing. In high school, I worked at McDonald's for 2 weekends. I worked at Burger King one day. I found out very quickly that fast food wasn't for me back in the day. But my very first job, and I was at Kroger's because down in Georgia, you could start working at 15 at the time. You could start working at 15 over the week. During the summer months, you could start working at 14 if you got a permit. And man, I was bagging them groceries. I was pushing those carts in, and I was doing those things. And I actually worked at Kroger for like 2 years. And Dr. Kyler, like 2 weekends. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. They got me for 2 weekends at McDonald's, and I couldn't handle it. And Burger King, I worked there one day, and I was like, nope, this isn't for me. This isn't not for me. So throw your first job down in the chat. I want to see where you guys have worked at, because some of y'all are hoity-toity and y'all had some good jobs in high school. I wasn't so fortunate. I actually ended up getting a position, telemarketing, like my senior year of high school, and that was actually a pretty cool gig. Selling, matter of fact, telemarketing company called Media One. It may not even exist anymore. And but when fiber optic cable became popular and they were running the cable, and at the time, most people didn't have it. So we were offering that service. And that was actually a pretty cool gig for high school. And they came through, I actually got it. They came through, they had a job fair at the high school, and we were able to get hired. Today, my son, he has a job. My youngest son, he has a job. But I know so many young people that are looking for work and they cannot find jobs. Now, my son has a job, and he gets, probably 25, 30 hours a week right now, but it's the summertime and he's not in school. So he wants to pick up another job, struggling to find a second job right now because he has all this time on his hands. He's like, Dad, I'd like to get another job, but he's applying all over the place and can't get a job. So it's not a situation where we don't have people to fill some of these positions. I don't necessarily think that is the case, especially when we go back through the amount of folks that we have homeless. Now some of our homeless folks, they're suffering from mental health issues. So maybe some of those folks, they probably can't work, but there are a good amount of people that are homeless that can work. We have a plethora of people, men especially, that are unemployed. We have people on the system receiving Section 8, so forth and so on, that are sitting on the sidelines at the house receiving assistance right now. There are plethora of teenagers right now looking for opportunities. I know a number of teenagers right now looking for an opportunity, or college age students looking for, just any old job right now. Because, right now when you're young, it's not about what the job is. It's really about what you get from the job, what you learn from the job. And the crazy thing is that our young people can't get that first job to get an understanding of what it feels like to go to work, to earn a paycheck, to work, to work for a manager. You know what I'm saying? And then if they do go to college or they go to a trade route or whatever, and then they get their first job, a lot of people are complaining that, hey, the kids are coming out, they got terrible work ethic, but there's no jobs for them. You got kids, and then in some states, they actually move the working age up. So like here in this state, you got to be 16 to work. When I was growing up, over the summer, you could be 14. During the school year, you could start at 15. And, there was guidelines on how many hours you could work, right? During the summer months, you could work as much as you could work. During the school year, you could only work 20 hours a week, which is fine. I don't think a kid needs to work more than 20 hours a week during the school year. But now those opportunities aren't even available. And nowadays, the grocery stores are like, oh, no, we don't hire teenagers. The grocery stores won't hire teenagers to bag groceries and go grab carts out the daggone parking lot now. There's my son tried to get on. I'm not going to call out the grocery store, but he tried to get on in the grocery store probably about 2 years ago. Where he's working at now, he's been there for a while. He's a good worker. He's been there for now, I guess, maybe a year and a half or so, maybe a little longer than that, maybe 2 years at this point. But he was trying to get on at the grocery store, local to where we live at, and they wouldn't hire a teenager. They're like, oh, no, we're not hiring any teenagers right now. Huh? So a bag boy is now an adult? What is going on? I mean, it's crazy. And that could be just what's going on up here in Maryland. That could be the case. That could just be a Maryland thing. But I just found it kind of weird that y'all won't hire teenagers to bag groceries and daggone go grab carts. I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity. I mean, like I said, we got a lot of teenagers looking for jobs right now. But we can't get them into the fields or the kitchens because it's easier to bring in illegals. We've literally created a system where Americans are told that those jobs are beneath them. And then we import labor from other countries, pay them pennies, and pat ourselves on the back for having a diverse workforce. It's nonsense. And let me just say it plainly. I don't think we need illegal labor. I just don't think we need it. I don't think we need illegal labor. What we need is we need to get our own citizens back to work. We got a lot of teenagers out here causing all kinds of daggone ruckus out in the streets because they got nothing to do. I know that's how it is out here. We got teenagers out here cutting a fool because they don't have anything to do and there's no jobs for them right now. And if you're homeless, if you're able-bodied, you should be working. If you're homeless, if you're able-bodied, you should be working. If you're living off the government, if you're receiving any type of government benefits and you're not a senior citizen and you're not disabled, and when I say disabled, I mean disabled where you can't work. I'm not talking about, the men and women that may suffer from autism, that, yeah, they have a disability, but it still affords them and they still have, the cognitive ability to get out and work. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about some folks that, I'm talking about the folks that just absolutely cannot work. And there was somebody that posted something. Absolutely. Thank you. Anthony, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right there. Maryland, $15 an hour minimum wage effect. Business owners, more than we know. You're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right. And the crazy thing is you got people demanding that they move the federal minimum wage up from $7 and some change. And you're absolutely right. In Maryland, minimum wage is $15 an hour. So it makes sense to say, hey, I'm not hiring a teenager and paying them $15 an hour. I'm only going to hire adults. It makes sense. It's definitely affected that minimum wage, Anthony. You're absolutely right, brother. It's definitely affected, business owners. It definitely has. I mean, we also saw what happened out in California, right? When they raised minimum wage for what was it? Fast food workers. Was that last year that they did that? It went into effect. I guess they passed it the year before, and then it went into effect in March of 24. And I think they were paying fast food workers $25 an hour. And all of a sudden, the layoffs came. They started laying people off left and right. All the delivery drivers that worked at the Pizza Huts and those types of places, they start getting cut. And they were like, hey, man, we don't need our own drivers. We'll just use whatever app that's out there, whether it's Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever the case may be. We'll just use that. We can't afford it. We can't afford to pay, a delivery driver $25 an hour. We just can't afford to do it. We just can't. So yeah, Anthony, that $15 an hour minimum wage, some people say it's good, and to an extent it is good. But people don't think about the small business owners when you do this. They don't think about it. They don't think about the small business owners when they do these things. And, unfortunately, they don't really think about the effects all the way down, because it's always a trickle down effect, right? But I got to say this, man, if you're living off the government, if you're receiving any type of assistance and you are not disabled and you are not a senior citizen, you need to be working. Seriously. You should be working. I mean, we literally have men sleeping on sidewalks in LA while farmers in California are begging for labor. You can't make this stuff. We literally have people sleeping on sidewalks in LA, but farmers in California are begging for labor. How about we invest some money, build some shelters next to the daggone farms, and get they behinds to work? They feel better about themselves. They would feel better about themselves. Help them rebuild their lives with some dignity and structure. But no more excuses, no more free rides. And when people say, well, Americans don't want to do these jobs, I say, so what? Who wants to work 12-hour shifts in the sun or scrub toilets in the hotel? No one. But guess what? People do what they have to do to survive. That's what you call life. That's called being an adult. It's not about what you want to do. It's about what you have to do. And if you want to make more money and you want to do something that you want to do something else, how about you go get off your butt, get the proper training, get the proper skills, and go do said job. But until then, do what you have to do. The illegals working these jobs aren't doing it out of passion. They're not. I promise you, the illegal immigrants that are working these jobs, they're not doing it because they love it. They're doing it because it's a better alternative than what they got at the house in their own country. So why are we pretending that Americans can't do the same? Why are we pretending that Americans are too good to do some of these jobs? Seriously. There was a time I worked at Stone Mountain Park. Kiwan, you're in the A. You know what I'm talking about. A summer, I worked at Stone Mountain Park doing cleanup for the pavilion, doing cleanup at the pavilions and cleanup at the light show. It's a dirty job. It's a dirty job. But as a young man, it paid pretty well for the time and for what it was. It paid pretty well. And hey, I was willing to jump out there and do it. At the time, doing that, because it was a dirty job. I mean, you're talking about garbage and you're cleaning up trash from the lawn, from the light show and things from the laser show and things of that nature. It's a dirty job. It is. Making sure the pavilions, making sure the park stays clean. But I felt good about doing it. I took pride in doing the work as a young person. Seriously. But let's get back to the political games. This whole Trump flip-flop narrative, I mean, honestly, excuse me, it's just lazy journalism. It's just lazy journalism. The whole what Trump is dealing with is the internal tug of war of the Republican Party. You got one side, you got Stephen Miller, the Stephen Miller wing, tough on immigration, zero tolerance, full enforcement. On the other side, you've got business owners, donors, and agriculture folks worried about losing cheap labor. And yeah, when you look at what's happening with Iran, that may be true. Well, that is true. But when it comes to this, doesn't the reversal show that he still listens to his base? To the people who get him elected. And that base is us, the American workers, the everyday citizen who wants order, who wants fairness, and a system that rewards legal entry, not backdoor exploitation. So yeah, I am I'm happy when our president reverses course because he listens to those who helped him out or who helped him put him there. And when media figures like Joe Scarborough try to spin this as some huge divide within Trump's movement, they're exposing how little they understand it. There's no real divide among voters. There's no real divide among voters. We know what we want. We know what we want. And we want a president who protects jobs, secures the border, and doesn't bend to big business just because they want to keep wages low. But also, we want a president who listens to us. And since we're on the topic of immigration, do you guys remember just the other week when Senator Alex Padilla tried to disrupt the conference on immigration efforts? Padilla, the Democrat from California, decided to crash out and crash a press conference held by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, started shouting questions, interrupting the event, and all of a sudden, Secret Service agents had him handcuffed and dragged him out. Well, there's another stunt, another example of political theater, and this time from Brad Lander, New York City's comptroller and a mayoral candidate who was arrested at immigration court. I want you guys to see this, man. These people are losing their minds, and it's flat out ridiculous, to be honest with you. It really is.
Show me the judicial warrant. Where is it?
Goodness gracious, what happened? All right.
The warrant. I would like to see the warrant. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. I would like to see the warrant, and then I will let go. Take him in. Let's go. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have the, I'm not obstructing, I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant? You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe. Where are you taking him? Hello?
Since you have no authority to arrest U.S. citizens, where are you taking me? And with what authority?
Why are you arresting me?
With what authority?
And where are you taking him? No!
Security details. Number one is gonna go with him, all right? Hang on, where's number one? Hold on. Brett, number one right here, all right?
These people are ridiculous, man. They really are. They are ridiculous. They have no shame. None. They have no shame. So the Department of Homeland Security said he assaulted law enforcement and impeded a federal officer, but Landers is denying it. Sounds familiar. This is their playbook. This is who they are. Last week it was Padilla. Now it's Lander. And let's be real. This isn't about justice. This isn't about justice. This is about grandstanding. It's all political theater with these people. These guys aren't there to help immigrants. They're not. They're there to cause a scene or to make a scene, to get their face on camera. to rally their base. And the media, oh, they're loving it. The media is eating this stuff up. Sickening disgrace. It's a front to democracy. All the usual buzzwords. They're eating it up, man. But here's the thing. These arrests aren't about immigration policy. They're about optics. They're about making Trump look bad, about making the administration look heavy-handed. But what they're really doing is exposing their own hypocrisy. Because if they cared so much about immigrants, why wait until Trump's in office to start these stunts? Why not do it under Obama, who as of now has deported more illegal immigrants than Trump has? That's right. Yeah, they were silent. Crickets, nothing. Because it's not about the migrants. It's not about these illegal immigrants. It's not about that. It's about the narrative. It's about using immigrants as pawns in their political games. They grandstand, they gaslight, they get arrested, they make a scene. But when it all comes down to it, they don't actually care about fixing the system. They have zero interest in fixing the system. They care about winning. That's it. They care about winning the next election. They care about how much money can they get the donors to donate to them. And that brings us to former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, dropping truth bombs on The View yesterday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm sure you guys probably see the video, but I had to add it to this today. I had to, because we got to watch it again together.
Immigrant, you're an immigrant in this country. Yeah. Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing, when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was impressed by the American people like that. I mean, imagine they came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that. Yeah. Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and it is the land of opportunity. And I think because I'm such a proud American and a proud immigrant that came to America, I was asked to do, on July 4th, a big speech, the keynote speech at Mount Vernon, where George Washington was laid to rest, and where he lived and all that, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America, the existence of America. And I will be doing the speech there. They asked me because I'm an immigrant, and there will be 7,000 some people there, and there will be people that will be sworn in and will become citizens that day.
That's great.
So it's really a great celebration. And this is what this is all about, is to celebrate people becoming Americans and coming to America and all that. And so I just think the world of the great kind of a history that we have with immigrants in America. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do, rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is, when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
Arnold, don't forget.
Hey, even a dead clock can be right twice a day, right? You know, even a dead clock can be right twice a day, right? Sonny was losing it. She was tapping him on his shoulder. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But let's break this down real quick, because what just happened on The View is not what the liberal media expected. That's not what they expected. They brought on Arnold, former Republican governor of California, a known critic of Trump, thinking that he'd get an easy slam dunk on immigration. That's what they were thinking. That's what they were thinking. They thought he was about to kiss the rim on Trump. That's what they thought. They assumed that he'd come in hot and trash Trump's mass deportation policies. But they were in for a surprise. Sadly mistaken, because what Schwarzenegger delivered was a dose of common sense, sprinkled in some patriotism, and a reality check that made the ladies squirm in their seats. Now, Schwarzenegger, again, a dead clock is right twice a day. Okay? So I understand y'all got a lot of disdain for this guy because of the way he handled the shutdowns. And I understand it. I do. I get it. But he was cooking. He was spot on right there. He was spot on right there. Now, Schwarzenegger, he didn't come out yelling or anything, but the message was clear. He said it point blank, that when you come to America, you are a guest. And as a guest, you have a responsibility to follow the rules, to respect the home that you've entered. That's not radical. That's just basic manners. And he compared it to visiting someone's home. You don't just walk in, break things, put your feet up on the couch, you know what I'm saying, and act like you own the place. You behave. You contribute if you can. You show respect. And what made it even better, he lived it. He's not just talking. This is someone who came here as an immigrant and did his best to assimilate. Now, Sonny, she goes on to say after he finished, she goes on to say, well, you know that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes. See, I don't like when they mix a little bit of truth and a little bit of lie. Legal immigrants, the people who come over here the right way, they go through the process. Those people are less likely to commit crimes. But the people who come over here illegally, they committed a crime as soon as they snuck into our country. They immediately committed a crime. And then we know the heinous acts that have transpired, so we're not going to go down that today. We're not going to go down the list of just the heinous acts that have happened in this country from these people that have come over here illegally. And I appreciate Schwarzenegger for reminding everyone that he came into this country with nothing. And through hard work, perseverance, he was able to build an empire here. Bodybuilding champion, Hollywood star, governor of California, proud to be an immigrant. But he made it crystal clear. Being an immigrant means giving back to the country that gave you the opportunity, not breaking its laws and expecting to be rewarded for it. Now, while he's saying all this, you can literally see the discomfort in the faces of the hosts, especially Sunny Hostin. I'm 100% here for it. If there is a person on TV that I despise the most, it's got to be her. It's got to be her. Seriously. She's always got that nice, nasty smile. You know what I'm saying? She's always got the nice, nasty smile going on. She's the lady that you run into that gives you the fake smile. You know what I'm saying? At the grocery store, don't really want to speak to you. She's got that nice nastiness about her. It's phony as all get out. Everybody knows what nice nasty looks like. Everybody knows it. Everybody does. But they couldn't handle what he was saying. And the reason why they couldn't handle it is because he wasn't giving them the usual anti-Trump soundbite that they wanted. And instead, he preached responsibility, legal immigration, and a gratitude toward America. Now, I get it. You have a lot of people out there that, you know, they may not like the country. They think that the country isn't perfect, that the country could be better. And you get no argument from me. We talk about our past. We talk about the past, and we understand that the country, you know, it has a past that in some cases was dark. You get no argument from me on that. But I can't think of another country that's better than this one. I don't see Americans, even the ones who say they don't like this, leaving this place in droves. But I for daggone sure see tons of people trying to get over here to take the opportunities that we have that have been afforded to us in this country. I don't see all these people that's, you know, talking about how bad this nation is trying to leave. And honestly, I don't, even the people that say that it's bad, I don't see the people that say it's bad trying to do anything to improve it. To be honest with you, I hear a lot of complaints, but I don't see people working towards trying to improve. You could see the panic on these people's faces, though. It was gold. Oh my goodness, that was golden. I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it. I loved it. I wish they would have just, while he was talking, just panned the camera on Sonny's face and just left it there. Seriously. Just pan it on her face. And let him talk and just pan the camera on Sonny's face. The View didn't expect the immigrant to come in and tell illegal immigrants to behave themselves. The irony. The irony. And finally, I want to talk a bit about that phrase, do things legally. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? It sounds so simple. But apparently, even saying that is controversial now. You can't even tell people not to commit crimes or cross the border illegally because it will offend some people on the left. I really do not like these folks, man. These are some intolerant snowflakes. Seriously. The people that call themselves the most tolerant people in the country are some of the most intolerant and insufferable people in the country. Let's keep it a buck. If you disagree with me, put a 2 in the chat if you disagree with me. But I really wish, while the Terminator was talking, I really wish they would have just panned that camera right to Sonny's face. They needed to, not Whoopi, not Joy, but Sonny. Oh man, that would have made it even better. That would have made it even better. And the fact that Schwarzenegger did not back down. He did not retract. He did not backtrack his statement. He said straight up that illegal behavior doesn't work in this country. And if you're coming here for an education, you're coming here to work, coming here to start a family, then you better be willing to respect the laws that made these opportunities possible for you in the first daggone place. And you know what? You know what we saw in that interview? We saw a rare moment of honesty on mainstream television. A rare moment of honesty on mainstream television. When you have a man that come up here and say immigrants should be giving back, volunteering after school programs, donating anything that contributes to American society, and I'm gonna take it a step further, not just immigrants. U.S. citizens, we should be giving back. We've been afforded so many opportunities. So when you make it, I feel like you have an obligation to turn around and go help someone else. I feel like you have an obligation to go down and mentor some young people. Go coach some sports. Go do something. Go read some books. We're allowing, men that want to dress like women to go to the library and read to kids. How about you go and read to some kids? You know, we complain about what one is doing, but I don't see a lot of us signing up to do those types of things. So yeah, I agree with Mr. Schwarzenegger. I agree with him. Yeah, immigrants should be given back, but I also think that us as American citizens, we should be given back. I'm not saying that we're perfect. Nation's not perfect. But it's a whole heck of a lot better than most, actually, all places, all other countries around the globe. Arnold Schwarzenegger is absolutely right. I just want to add that American citizens should also be given back as well. Too many people come here, take advantage of our systems, and then turn around and send money back to their countries that they supposedly fled. Too many people, too many Americans are in the country living off the system and complaining about how they're not getting enough, but they refuse to go out there and work for what they want. The word says a man that doesn't work doesn't deserve to eat. If you're here to build a better life, then build it here. Help the country that opened its doors to you. Don't just use it like an ATM and dip out when it's convenient. I mean, look, man, there's plenty of videos out there of, people, young Latinas, young Hispanics out there, saying that they really don't like the country. They just come here for the money. And when they get enough money, they send it back. They buy homes, they buy land in their own countries, so forth and so on. So they come here, they work, the money doesn't circulate in our country. They're sending it to other places. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be the case. Unless you're one of the migrant workers on an H-2A visa up here to work for harvest season or whatever the case may be, and then you're going back home because your visa is only good for 4 or 5 months of harvest season or whatever that is. And Marla, I do agree. I understand. I do agree with you. A lot of people do volunteer. Hey, I volunteered, coached football for 13 years as a volunteer coach. And to be honest with you, a lot of times when you volunteer, it actually costs you to do those types of things. I just want to encourage people to do more in their communities and stop looking for other people to do what you should be doing. You be the change that you want to see in the world. You be that change. And Dr. Kyla, I do agree. They do need to pay taxes. But we can't move forward until we fix what's broken. You don't get to hit the reset button on immigration without cleaning up the mess first. And that includes millions of illegal entries, overwhelmed systems, dangerous criminal activity, and zero accountability. That has to come first. Then we can talk about what kind of immigration system we want. But until Democrats stop pushing extreme, unworkable, open border nonsense, until they're willing to come to the table with real solutions, not emotional talking points, we've got to keep enforcing the law. And that means mass deportations, securing the border, and making sure this country works for its citizens first. That's not racist. That's not cruel. That's just basic national survival. That's it. That's it. Now, in other news, we're going to keep moving. In other news, I'm sure you guys remember the riots out in LA. Hard to forget. And in some cases, I think they've tampered down. There's still some protests and things of that nature going on, but they tampered down. But I'm sure you guys remember the riots out in LA. Because the truth is, it wasn't just some peaceful protests that got out of hand. Let's just keep it a buck. You guys know it. We watched the videos. We got a chance to see it. We talked about it. It wasn't some peaceful protest that got out of hand. Now, what we witnessed was a week-long domestic extremist operation in one of America's largest cities with firebombs, assault on officers, massive property destruction, and taxpayers now stuck with a nearly $20 million bill. And now Democrats have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to point fingers at Trump for all of it, demanding a payment after they blamed him for all the chaos that ensued. I mean, these people they're something else, man. They really are. They really are. They are something else.
Right. But people should also exercise that right peacefully. We do not want to play into the administration's hands. We're working with officials, we're organizing resources, but what we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation, but we need to be real about this. This is about another agenda. It's not about public safety. There's clearly no plan, and there is clearly no policy. I want the people of Los Angeles to know that we stand with all Angelenos, no matter where you were born. The First Amendment right gives you the ability, again, to protest peacefully, but it does not give you the right to be violent, to create chaos, or to vandalize property, and that will not be tolerated. So I call on all Angelenos to continue expressing your right, your anger, your outrage, but to do it peacefully. And I just have to say that all of you were there Friday. Everybody knows what happened Friday. A workplace, several workplaces were targeted and raids took place. Now,
Yeah, this lady's full of sugar honey iced tea, man. She is. She is. She's full of it. So I'm sure you guys know that was Karen Bass slamming Trump while the camera view right next to her showed chaos. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up. Here's the reality. Over 500 arrests were made in 8 days. 500 arrests was made in 8 days. What's going on, T.A. Caskey? How you doing this morning, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. 500 arrests was made in 8 days. 8 days. And it wasn't because LAPD suddenly decided to get tough on crime. That wasn't the case. It was because they absolutely had no choice. The violence got so bad that officers had to step in. But guess what? Instead of taking responsibility for enabling this, LA city officials are crying about how much it costs. Nearly $20 million in damage. And now they want the federal government to pick up the tab. Yeah, you heard that right. They want the federal government to pick up the tab after supporting the protests, after participating in No King's Day, after letting their own streets turn into battlegrounds. These Democrats have the unmitigated gall to demand reimbursement from Washington, to demand reimbursement. Really and truly, it's not Washington. It's from us. It's from the taxpayers. It's from us. Now, let me be clear. The vast majority of the money, over $11 million, came from LAPD overtime. LAPDOT. I want you guys to see this article right here. If you want the article, shoot me an email. I will gladly send it over to you. But I want you guys to see this, man. LA immigration protest costs reached nearly $20 million for police and city repairs. I want you guys to see this, man. This is insane. This is crazy. Look at this. Now, it says right here, LA Police Department has spent $16.9 million, including $11.7 million for overtime. Yeah. That is wild. This right here is coming from the LA Times. Officers were working nonstop to manage the fallout of the situation the city itself allowed to escalate. Another $1.2 million came from damage to public utilities. $500,000 went to street cleaning, and the city's buildings sustained over $500,000 in physical damage. That's not even counting the graffiti. And yet, the spin from local politicians is that Trump somehow caused the chaos by enforcing immigration law and protecting border security. I mean, cut it out, man. Cut it out. Now, I understand why they're asking for the money. I'm sure you guys understand why they're asking for the money. I'm sure you do. Because California, their budget, I think last year, and we talked about this the other day, the California budget, I think they had like, I think they have like over $100 million deficit right now. Let me look it up real quick. Give me a second. I want to look this up. I want to make sure I get this correctly. I mean, it's insane. how mismanaged that city, how mismanaged the city of LA, how mismanaged the state of California is. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. Makes absolutely no sense. Give me a second. Let me see if I can look it up real quick and see exactly what the number is. So right now they say that LA's deficit, they have a projected $1 billion shortfall at this point. This is LA City. $1 billion. So that's the reason why they are, demanding this $20 million, because they really don't have any money out there. When you're operating in a $1 billion deficit, whew, that's something else, man. That's something else. But here's the good news here, though. The good news is this. Some of these extremists, they're finally facing justice. And I'm glad to see that. The LA District Attorney's Office just announced serious charges against individuals who went way beyond civil disobedience. One guy threw fireworks at cops and firefighters while they were responding to an emergency. He had a 20-pack of explosives in his backpack, including 11 M1000s, which are basically quarter sticks of dynamite. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not what you call protesting. That's attempted homicide right there. And not only that, but now the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California and FBI LA are investigating who is funding the LA riots. Finally, somebody is going to do some work, some real work. Because we need to understand, we need to have a full understanding as to who funded this foolishness.
Hello, I'm Bill Asaley, United States Attorney for the Central District of California.
And I'm Akil Davis, the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Field Office.
And I'm Tyler Hatcher, the Special Agent in charge of IRS Criminal Investigation here in Los Angeles.
The right to assemble and protest peacefully is protected by law. Unfortunately, we have seen individuals whose intentions are to cause damage and to assault law enforcement. For example, last week we arrested an individual who was charged with conspiracy to commit and aiding and abetting civil disorders. These violent agitators put peaceful demonstrators at risk.
The FBI and our federal partners will continue to investigate individuals and organizations who are knowingly funding or committing acts of violence against law enforcement, as well as the destruction of property.
We are currently tracing money to determine who is providing funding for these riots. Funding crime doesn't just affect the criminals, it also disrupts entire communities. Each dollar funneled into illegal operations fuels violence, undermines law and order, and perpetuates fear. Make no mistake, we will identify and disrupt financial networks supporting these criminal activities.
Think before you act. The legal consequences for financing or aiding and abetting these crimes are harsh. They include imprisonment and fines.
If you have any information regarding individuals and/or organizations providing financial support to commit acts of violence or destruction of property, please dial 1-800-CALL-FBI or visit tips.fbi.gov. You can also upload your images and videos to fbi.gov/LA officer assault.
The United States government will continue to safeguard constitutionally protected rights, but we will not tolerate assaults on law enforcement, destruction of property, or any violent acts that puts the community in harm's way.
Yeah, so if you really want to blame someone, I think that you probably want to start by pointing fingers, maybe figure out who funded the riots in the first place. I think we need to start there. We got to start there. Now, I am glad that the federal government is investigating exactly that. I am glad to hear that they are going to investigate who put the money behind this. The DOJ, the FBI, and IRS, they're tracing financial networks to see who funded these riots. They're looking into the individuals in the groups who backed the No King's Day protests, many of which proudly listed themselves as sponsors. Some of these groups even receive taxpayer funding. If that's the case, that money needs to be pulled immediately. No one should be subsidizing domestic terrorism under the guise of activism. Federal officials made it clear anyone found funding or supporting these violent riots will be held accountable, and they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. They reminded people that aiding in or financing civil disorder isn't just wrong, it's a federal crime, jail time, fines, and hopefully all of that. And hopefully it's the end of these groups posing as quote unquote community organizers when they're really just laundering chaos. And here's what really frustrates me. Here's what frustrates me the most. It's the gaslighting. These riots weren't spontaneous. They were coordinated. They weren't peaceful. They were violent. And they didn't happen because of law enforcement. They happened because law enforcement wasn't allowed to act until it was entirely too late. City leaders chose politics over public safety. And now they want to blame Trump because the feds had to step in and clean up their mess. And while these same people are defunding the police, tying officers' hands and cheering on every protest movement that flares up, they turn around and beg for federal money when it backfires. And I am a no on this. Not this time. You wanted to abolish ICE and defund the police? Hey, then you can pay for the damage that comes with those slogans. Somebody let me know. If you are a no for sending California money, sending LA $20 million to clean up their mess, drop a 1 in the chat for me. If you're okay with your hard-earned taxpayer dollars, going out to these people that ain't gonna do nothing but fumble the money up, they're gonna mess the money up anyway. Drop me a 2 in the chat if you're okay with it. We need to know who you are. But it's a no for me. At the end of the day, man, this wasn't about Trump. This is about law and order. It's about protecting our cities, our officers, our National Guards member, our service members, our citizens from political extremists who are using protests as cover to wage war on America from within. And until Democrats are willing to call out the violence on their side, until they're willing to say enough to the fringe elements that they've been enabling, don't talk to us about funding and don't talk to us about blame. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all. Not interested. All right, shout out to Amethyst Angel with the $5 super chat. Says Soros, Bilderbergers, the WHO, UN, WEF, the IMF, global financiers hiding like snakes in the weeds. Yeah. I feel like I missed somebody on the super chat side of things. Oh, okay. I think I did. All righty, here we go. And shout out to Amethyst Angel with the other $5 super chat. Says they got what they wanted. We still have no American king, but I do have the king I submit to. Jesus was, is, and will always be the King of Kings. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Amethyst Angel. Appreciate the $5 super chats, both of them. Thank you very much. And you're absolutely right. Let's keep moving on. We're going to shift gears for a second because I got something else that's going to lift your spirits, right? We got to talk about more of a feel-good story. Somewhat of a feel-good story. All right, so I got something that I think is going to lift your spirits. At least I hope it will lift your spirits. It's a story about how a minor league ballpark has revived a struggling downtown in South Carolina, becoming a community hub. I want you guys to see this. Because we need we got to incorporate some good feel-good moments, in this country. We got to talk about the good that is happening in the nation. It's not all doom and gloom. But let's check this out. Excuse me.
Cities all over America face the same challenge: how to revitalize their downtowns. For one city, the answer was baseball. The city built a ballpark, not on a cornfield, but on a lumberyard, and people came. Mark Strassman has tonight's Eye on America.
Floor Field, a field of dreams come true for Greenville, South Carolina.
Family friendly. There's things for everybody to do. Easy to get to. Cheap.
Cheap, that's what I was going to do.
The stadium's home to the Greenville Drive, the high-A minor league baseball team for the Boston Red Sox, complete with a replica of Fenway Park's Green Monster. But its big pitch is community.
We were really embraced by the community, and then we began to learn all that a baseball team can do for a community.
Craig Brown, a former high-powered Manhattan advertising executive, built the stadium for $20 million in 2006. He still owns it and the team.
Fluor Field has become the front porch of the community, and in the South, the front porch is where the family gathers. That's very much how we operate the place.
This ballpark has had a monster impact. It draws roughly 500,000 people a year for ball games and other events. And over the last decade, the city says the team's financial impact has been nearly $300 million. But the stadium did much more. After a number of Greenville textile factories shuttered, Fluor Field, using bricks salvaged from demolished mills, jump-started a renaissance in the city's West End downtown, a blighted area that used to be seedy and scary.
There was a letter to the editor that said, if you put a baseball stadium down there, only prostitutes will go to baseball games.
Knox White, the mayor here for 30 years, says Greenville's approach 20 years ago was unusual for the time, but savvy. The city insisted the downtown stadium be part of an ambitious mixed-use development.
This was the transformational event. Suddenly this area close into the stadium became a place for condos and some high-rises and hotels, but beyond it, residential neighborhoods were transformed as well.
And without the stadium, would any of this have happened?
Not at this end of downtown. This stadium was a home run by any measure.
The mixed-use approach draws people and new businesses downtown. Old Europe Desserts serves coffee and sweets several blocks from the ballpark. Owner Bobby Doherty. Why was the baseball stadium such a big draw?
Bodies. I sell cake. I need bodies through the door. So I knew I was kind of right in the middle of all the traffic, if you will.
And that was the sweet spot.
That was the sweet spot, yeah.
That's what Greenville found here. A sweet spot for development that touches all the bases. For Eye on America, I'm Mark Strassman in Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville's idea is catching on. There are plans to build or renovate at least 39 major sports venues across the country, from New York to Las Vegas.
Yeah, they also did one out in Knoxville as well. They just opened it. And if you guys know anything about Knoxville, where they built the new stadium out there, it was on a depressed side of town. And And I mean, from what I hear, it's phenomenal. I'll be down there in a couple of weeks. I'm definitely looking forward to going down there. I may actually try to go to a ball game down there. But I have been to Greenville, and I haven't actually been inside of Fluor Field, but I have been in the area where Fluor Field is, and it is phenomenal. It is a beautiful place, man. I really, really enjoyed it. I've been to Greenville a couple times. Beautiful, beautiful. It really is. So Fluor Field in Greenville, South Carolina. If you guys didn't know, it's in Greenville. Home to the Greenville Drive, minor league affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. They turned what was once a seedy, scary part of town into a thriving community center. And it's not really about baseball, or not just about baseball. It's about history. It's about heritage and hope. Shout out to my guy, Jason over at Dear Woke Christian, gifting 5 ARP family memberships, man. Appreciate you, brother, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you. Y'all make sure y'all show, if y'all receive one of these, y'all make sure y'all show the brother Jason, man, some love in the chat, man. Y'all definitely make sure y'all show him some love in the chat. Annie Love said Knoxville with the question mark. Yeah, I'll be there. For those of you guys that don't know, I spent half my young life in Knoxville, born there. We moved to the Atlanta area when, I was about 11 years old. And then I grew the rest of my childhood in middle school, teenage years was spent down in Georgia. If you guys know anything about the 90s, what happened in Georgia, we had the Olympics down there. And when the Olympics came, it brought all kinds of people. So we actually got there before the Olympics, but it brought all kinds of people to the city. And we were one of those people, man, going there at the boom of Atlanta. And but in Knoxville, they did the same thing, and they are doing the same thing. They built the stadium. It's already built. They actually tore down a notorious housing project. And when I say notorious, a very notorious housing project to build it. But in reference to Fluor Field, this situation, it really was about revitalizing Greenville. It was about revitalizing, a town that needed it. It's about history. It's about heritage. It's about hope. Built by big out-of-state money, Fluor Field has generated an estimated hundreds of millions of dollars for the local economy over 20 seasons. That's not just tickets. That's not just tickets and hot dogs. That's jobs. That's development and a sense of pride. The park's got a giant left field wall, just like Fenway Park Green Monster. Now I have been there, which is dope. And it's become the front porch of the community, as Kirk Brown, the owner, put it. In the South, the front porch is where the family gathers. That's where you go and you hang out. For those of you guys that are in the South, y'all know this. People just go and hang out in the yard, and when the cars ride by, they wave. Hey, how's it going? I took one of my guys. When my grandmother passed away, I had to go down to Tennessee, and I drove down there. So one of my guys up here from the Baltimore area moved down, or not moved down, but came with me. And we're riding through neighborhoods and things of that nature. And because I had to go and check out some land and things of that nature, I need to go and check that out. And we're riding through the neighborhood, and people are outside on the porch, and they're waving, and you ride by and they wave. You see somebody out cutting the grass, you ride by, they wave. And he was like, turns and looks at me and was like, bro, you know these people? I'm like, nah, bro, it's the South. People are friendly like this. People wave. I had to tell him, I was like, yo, it's different than being up here. In the South, even the thugs will say what's up to you. Even in the South, the thugs were raised with some manners. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? It may be different because I hadn't really lived in the South. Actually, I can't even say it's true because I'm in the South, on an annual basis, multiple times. And even the thugs will say what's up. You come up here, say hi to somebody that you don't know, it might not go well. It might not go well. But he couldn't believe that people were just out on their porches and they were just waving at people as they drove by, people that they didn't even know. I'm like, people are just friendly like this. They're just friendly like that. But the porch, it's where families gather. And that's exactly how they operate Fluor Field. Roughly 500,000 people pass through the gates every year, not just for baseball, but for events that bring people together. And get this, man, after the textile mills closed, leaving the area blighted, Fluor Field, it repurposed those old building materials like clay bricks to keep the city's heritage intact. If you haven't been there, it is beautiful if you haven't been there. It's not just a ballpark, it's a symbol of revival. Condos, high rises, hotels, residential neighborhoods, all transformed because of this one project. The mayor called it a transformational event. And it's not just about the money, it's about the spirit. The Greenville Drive, with alumni like Clay Buckholtz, Anthony Rizzo, Mookie Betts, they carried a flag for the community, not just Boston. So yeah, this is the kind of story that reminds me of what America is all about. Community, resilience, and a love for the game. But here's the thing. While we're celebrating these wins, we've got to remember the bigger picture. Because not every city's got a Fluor Field to save it. Not every community's got the resources to turn things around. And that's where leadership comes in. Leadership that prioritizes its citizens, that fixes what's broken, that doesn't get distracted by things like political theater or open border nonsense. This is what America's all about. Coming together, helping your neighbors, having pride in where you live. That's the American dream. It's not about handouts or division. It's about rolling up your sleeves, building something from nothing, and making it better for everyone. Man, if you guys hadn't gone to Greenville, man, I think you should check it out. Wonderful town, wonderful city, good people down there. It's definitely worth checking out. For my folks that's down in Georgia and Atlanta, it's only a 2-hour drive up 85. It ain't that far away. And you're starting to see this revitalization of smaller towns, small to mid-sized towns. You're starting to see this happen, especially in the South, because I know it's happening in Knoxville. Obviously, it's happening in Greenville, and it's happening in other cities around the country. And I'm 100% here for it. It needs to happen. It really, really does, man. But that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I do appreciate you guys pulling up. Shout out to everybody that supported the channel financially today. Appreciate all my ARP family members. Appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. We'll be back at this thing tomorrow morning, Lord willing, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning. We'll be right back at this thing. And I do appreciate you guys, man. So if you haven't done so already, man, on the way out the door, make sure you hit that like button for me. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Dear World Christian with the $5 super chat says, when I hit 50K, I will meet you up there. Well, okay. Well, hopefully you hit that 50K pretty soon. The way you're starting to cook, man, I think that's going to happen very, very soon. Very soon. Thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. You know, but I'm going to have to connect with you anyway. The next time I go to Atlanta, I'm definitely going to reach out to you, man. We're going to have to link up, do some lunch or something like that. I don't know if you play golf. I have to holler at you, see if you get out on the links, because when I go home, man, I like to go play Cherokee Run, you know, out there in Conyers. That's one of my favorite courses out that way. Shout out to Malachi Andrew Chapman with the $5 super chat. Says, I'm an independent who voted for this mess to stop. Just found your channel a week ago, Wise. And I gotta thank you. I'm 23 years old. Man, shout out to you, Malachi. Shout out to you, brother. First off, 23 and having a willingness to become politically astute is phenomenal. It really is. I can't tell you, when I was 23, I had a real care to what was going on politically. Although I was voting and things of that nature, and I guess to an extent I kind of did because I was in the military at that time. But I do appreciate you, you know, trying your best to be informed, and that's huge. And I'm 100% okay with you being an independent. I think that's phenomenal. Take that time, do your due diligence. You're a young man. You're 23 years old. Hopefully, you are making the proper decisions to make sure that your life is headed the right way and you're on the proper trajectory. But just based off of this right here, man, it gives me some hope for our young people, man. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, man. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, Malachi. I really appreciate that, man. Hey, man, you guys stay safe out there, man. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. It is crazy out here in these streets. I'm going to catch up with you all a little later. Y'all take care, man. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.